Welcome back to the Slightly Random Daily Song! Really struggle to hit that note. Speaking of struggling to hit notes, I always wanted to reveal UMNESS here on the Slightly Random Daily Song. Now, what is UMNESS? UMNESS was the band that myself and my cousin formed back in 1996. Now, there has to be a few things said before we can play any UMNESS. First thing, when we formed the band, we could not play an instrument. I'd never played a guitar before. Gavin had never played the bass before. But we bought instruments, we had a jam, we laid down a structure of a song, or what we thought was a structure of a song. We weren't even in tune. We didn't even know you had to tune. It was so stupid, but we enjoyed music. Like, I've always enjoyed music. I've always had friends in bands. You've seen all the Friends bands, right? And there's plenty more coming, but you've seen the musical ride I was taking as a child, like as a kid, as a teenager. Strangely enough, it never included me performing any music, and that's where UMNESS came from. Now, the act of being that's a word we used for many years before the band UMNESS. Anything can be Now, this is a huge discussion point. Like, I could spend an entire stream talking about how you can be and what is. But UMNESS, the adjective of being the doing word of is UMNESS. And of course, there was never any question that that was going to be our band name. If we're which we completely acknowledge we are I'm Gav is our band was always going to be called UMNESS. Like I said, we couldn't play, but we laid down this rhythm, right? Like this little riff. And that became a track. And my memory's a bit sketchy from this, but after that sort of rhythm was laid down, oddly enough, we had a jam with Brad Searle, which is kind of strange. The last time I saw Brad Searle was right here on Culburra Beach, coming for a surf, but that's another story. We nabbed our friend Paul Walsh to record our band. Now, my memory of this is all a little hazy, but this is the result of that recording. The UMNESS, well, it became known as the UMNESS yellow cassette. As you can see, the only reason this is yellow is because that was the color of the paper that I had at home at the time. I gotta read you this crap, hey. 5 tracks, recorded to tape on Paul Walsh's reel-to-reel machine. Paul Walsh of the Slightly Mobile Studio, Stables of Babel, etc., GNU, all the things. Artwork, very, very dubious, just some kind of dot matrix printer from 1996. But I did include a little liner note in here that I want to read you. It says, "For years, cousins Benon and Gavin had enjoyed watching live bands. When Benon realized he couldn't play a single note, yet loved music so much, he bought a guitar." This is how it happened. The next week, I can still remember the op shop I bought it from too. The next weekend, Gavin bought a bass from an op shop. I can remember the exact place we went and bought it from. The two had their very first musical jam in January this year. Now, that should have been January that year. I typed that wrong. Never having had a lesson, the basic structure for "Ah Man, You Broke It," which is the track we're going to hear, was laid down. The only thing missing was someone who could play. It's very true, we were so terrible. I had a terrible thing with timing. I couldn't keep time, and I still have trouble with that. The only thing missing now is someone who could play. Enter Luke Webb on drums. Now, you've heard Luke Webb mentioned plenty of times before on the Slightly Random Daily Song. Luke Webb of the Daydreamers will be there tonight, the track I used on the Wave a Day. Silver Jukes, you've heard him plenty of times, so you know the man Luke Webb. He can play drums, right? So enter Luke Webb on drums. Luke's solid beats, experience, and ideas helped pave the way for UMNESS. Andrew Tope originally joined the band as the singer, but when a sax was flown in from Perth, UMNESS became a unit. Now, we've no idea really why Tope thought he would play sax in this band. We didn't ask him to do that. We said we need a singer because we can't play and sing. We can't even play. How can we play and sing at the same time? That's unfathomable. So we thought we'll get Tope to do the vocals. He was always kind of messing around with vocals and whatever. So he joined, and I think we had one rehearsal where he did sing. And then his sister said, "I've got your sax from when you were a child. She lived on the other side of the country in Perth. We're in the east coast right here. She's on the west coast. So she flew the sax across the country, and then Taupe became the sax player in UMNESS. For fuck knows the reason why that happened. But here we have it, the original yellow cassette. The tracks on here are Taunting, track 1, Taunting. Track 2, Steve Stereo Head. Track 3, Ah Man, You Broke It. Track 4, Men in the Mine. Track 5, Vagina Envy. So we're gonna hear Ah Man, You Broke It. I'm gonna pop you guys down in a nice position. I reckon over here is gonna be perfect. Pop you like that. Well, I do hope you enjoy looking at the ocean whilst serenading yourself with the sultry saxophonic sounds of UMNESS and Ah Man, You Broke It. There you go. Ah Man, You Broke It from UMNESS, the yellow cassette. Did you enjoy that? I'll tell you what I do enjoy most about this is that because we had no concept of music or of like playing notes together, playing chords, we just wanted to make sounds. I think it's got its own sort of special uniqueness, right? Obviously we did learn this thing called music, and we honed our skills, if you like, but at this point we had no concept, we had no skills, we had nothing, but we have a recording of 5 songs, and I've got to thank Luke Webb and Paul Walsh for actually putting up with our garbage. They were actual musicians, right? They gave us their time to do this. I don't know why. It's not going to help them with their musical endeavors at all. I don't know why they would give us that time. They're our friends, I guess they were roped into it that way. I remember when Taupe became, when I said he's going to be a vocalist and then he became a sax player, we ended up advertising for a vocalist at the rehearsal studios. And I remember the sign said, wanted, singer for searing cosmic rock band UMNESS. must show up. Phone. I thought that was the funniest ad. The only criteria was must show up. Now while I go and listen to the rest of the UMNESS yellow cassette, you guys can go back to the live stream.